Okay. All right, welcome everybody. This is our maybe last Board of Equalization hearing. So welcome to you all. And this time we're going to ask Mr. Roth to come forward on 116 Fitchett Drive.
All right.
And I'll turn the floor over to you after you're done, Mr. Roth. Then the board will probably have questions we'll ask of you.
Sure.
And then at the end of today's hearings, then we'll all deliberate case-by-case basis.
All right.
Render our decision and let you know by mail in about 2 to 3 weeks' time.
All right,
So-
cool. Yeah, just so why I'm here, I had sent out an email in December with some questions and some corrections to my assessment. I didn't get a response. I came to the Board of Supervisors meeting. They told us about the formation of this board. I had a couple more, replies back to the email, but that I sent, but never got a reply. So I haven't had any, discussion or anything about this to this point.
Where'd you send the emails to?
I sent it to lancovassessment.com or whatever the email was that was on the real estate assessment.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I did a reply back to it in, I think it was February or something, it bounced back saying this mail is no longer being monitored. Please call the county. And so that's
Gotcha.
how I ended up here.
Okay.
But like I said, the questions I had, I mean, first of all, I was a little shocked at the assessment because it was at the high end of the Z estimate. I mean, I know that's not, a hard and fast, thing to go by. But, I mean, I think buyers look at that. So I think the range of the Z estimate was 1.21 to 1.58 million, and we assessed at 1.55 million. But that's not really my main issue. So there was a couple of things that I thought were errors on the assessment.
Okay.
And I don't know how materially these affect things, but first of all, we have a dock. They estimated at 2,300 square feet. I got my tape measure out and measured it all out, and it's around 1,870 square feet, so about 3/4 of that. And I don't know, slow me down if you're taking notes. I'm going too fast.
No, you're fine, 'cause we've actually got a copy of an email from March 10th.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
we're-
all this,
we're-
I'm repeating what's in
No,
there.
that's okay. We'll follow along because we do want to make
Okay.
sure that the tax
Sure.
card is accurate.
Sure.
Because some of those things can affect the value on it.
Yeah, I
So-
figured a dock, I mean, we put that in last year, and it was pretty pricey, so hopefully it affected a little bit.
Right.
The other thing is, it said that we had a patio to the left of the front entrance. There is no patio, and I brought a picture here I can show.
No, it's on the rear, right?
There is one on the rear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they also said we had one on the front, to the left of the front door, where we just have some bushes there.
Right.
I brought a picture. I can give it to you guys when I'm done here if you want to see that.
Sure.
Let me see here. And I think those were the only kind of, what I would say, inconsistencies, but I did have a couple questions. One is, it said on the assessment that our water was pub-I. I didn't know what that meant. I mean, we're well water and septic.
That's an error. That needs to be private well.
Yeah, we definitely, our neighborhood does not have any public water in it at all.
Right.
And then the other question I had, this might be the biggest one, is I was just kind of curious how they determine the acreage for the home site versus residual. I mean, I see that the rate for the home site acreage is much higher than residual, and they have us at 1 acre on the home site and 0.2 acres on the residual. I mean, the footprint of the house and the garage is, I think, I calculated this morning, is like 4,500 square feet. So I just didn't know how they calculate that. I mean, does that include the driveway? What does it include for the home site?
So with all pieces of land, they give the home site up to 1 acre as one value. And then everything else would be a separate value.
Gotcha.
Because it's
Okay.
not as valuable as your 1 acre home site.
Okay.
So that's why the residual is a lot less than the home site itself.
So any home over 1 acre, it's going to show 1 acre for the home
Yep.
site.
And
everything
actually,
else.
even homes on properties under 1 acre is still going to have a home site value
Okay.
with a number that's supposed to be consistent with other land.
Right.
Now, I'll tell you, when we go through your property, you can see up on the board behind me,
Mm-hmm.
all these lots in here, because you all have pretty much the same water frontage,
Right.
same views and everything. We're going to check each one of these lots too.
Okay.
To make sure that the home site value and the residual value is all consistent.
Okay.
To make sure it's all fair and
Yep.
equitable, so,
Okay.
yeah.
I think that might
And
be it.
you,
Don't.
you
oh,
just
sorry.
purchased this property, well,
like 4 years ago.
4 years
I think.
from the
Yeah.
Tony and Wanda Little.
Yeah.
Cecil and Wanda Little.
Yeah. You know them or something?
Well, we had the house listed before you bought it, so I know
Oh,
very
okay.
well. Yeah, it's a beautiful home.
It is. You know.
And there was no pier before.
No,
You
there
built that
wasn't.
pier.
That's why they moved, because they couldn't could put their boat in and out of the water, and I guess they didn't want to build one, so they moved to Weems and bought
Yeah.
a house that had a
Yeah.
pier and a boathouse. So yeah, we've put a lot into the property. I mean, that dock was not cheap.
I know. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was it. I mean, you answered the question. One of the questions I had was next steps. And the only other question I had was, has there been like any communication that's going out about the tax rate? I mean, has that been set yet, or because
So
I haven't gotten
it's-
anything else in the mail?
It's been in the paper and been
Okay.
online that they set the tax rate at 55 cents per 100 of assessed value. So
And
we
that-
were at 63 cents, and they reduced it to 55.
So that's going to be a pretty big hit for me. I mean, I know when I came to the board of supervisors meeting, they were explaining how, the rate is going to go down, and so that will hopefully kind of balance things out a little bit. For us, our assessment is almost double what it was, so it's going to, probably be about $3,000 or $4,000 more a year.
Yeah, I'll tell you that the last general reassessment we had, and everybody up here, with the exception of RJ, we've been on it for 3 reassessments, so I guess 12 years, 15 years. And so the last general reassessment we had, the market was a lot different. It was pre-COVID. There was more inventory on the market.
Yeah,
But since COVID hit and inventory shrunk, all of a sudden demand went up,
yeah,
and values went up, so
Yeah.
across the board. So the county's really just trying to not so much hammer everybody on taxes, just to try to bring the values back up to
yeah, okay.
what they should be. Now, because the county says your property's worth X,
Right.
in reality, you might be able to get Y or Z for it. But across the board, they're trying to make sure it's
Yeah, that's,
more in line with values today. Now, that being said, again, we're going to go case by case and really dive into your property and everyone's property we've done to look at everything from the age of the property to the depreciation, to see if there's any disparities there that we can
Sure.
argue. And with Jan being an appraiser and me being a real estate broker, most of these properties we've either seen or know about, so we're able
All
to
right.
give more validation on the condition versus
right.
just looking at a computer screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
we don't know how
everything's different.
well the property's been maintained or condition of it, so.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll leave you with 2 things, if okay to come
Sure.
up
Oh,
here?
yeah, absolutely,
This is the picture that shows there's no patio in front of the house on the left of the door, like it says.
That's the master bedroom on the left-hand side?
It's my office.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Master bedroom's in the back.
that's right.
And then I just did my calculation on the dock square footage. I went out and measured it all out. I mean, don't know, you guys might send something back out or whatever. but
No,
that's,
we're gonna trust your,
I think how he came up with that higher number is my wife is you know what, you can keep it if you want.
that's all right, no, I mean, you keep,
Okay.
we've got your number right here, so we'll correct it with that.
Yeah, I think my wife is a little bit of an exaggerator, and I think when the bobcat came by, she said, oh, yeah, it's 350 feet long or something. No, it's 275, so,
Still a long period, because you
it
need,
is.
you
Well, we
need
had
to
to go out
get
pretty far to get to
What do you
deep enough
have
water.
depth-wise?
What's that?
What do you have depth-wise at the end?
About 4 to 6 feet.
Yeah.
Depending on the tide. Yeah, and we used to have jet skis. We just bought a boat and sold the jet skis, and so yeah, it's kind of. I get a little nervous sometimes puttering around there, especially we lost in the windstorm a few weeks back. One of our chairs blew off the dock. One of those, what do you call it? The the recycled plastic.
The
the poly
polywood,
chairs.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know where it is. We turn the fish finder on every time we go out to open it. We won't run it over it, because probably only about a foot of water on top of it wherever it's at.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's it for me.
Do y'all have any questions for Mr. Roth?
Beautiful house.
Yeah, I know. It's,
Thank you, Mr.
COVID is why we're here. I mean, both of our companies said we could
Work remote?
work remote.
That's
There's
awesome.
No reason to live in Chesterfield anymore.
Well, that's great. And
Yeah.
that's another reason why I think COVID did a number to the market here, is that a lot of people did the same thing you do. And they got out of the cities and came down and said, well,
Yeah,
if I can work remote, why would I want to live in congestion when I can live in God's
Yeah.
country and look at the water?
I know. It's a big difference here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, again, we'll get, this afternoon when we're finished with everything, we'll send you guys out in the mail. You want to send it to the house, the 116 Fitchett Drive?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
All right, so about
Okay,
2 to 3
good.
weeks' time, we'll send you their decision
Okay,
and go from there.
all right, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
What do you say, Russell? How you doing, partner? Come on up. Let me bring your property up here on the screen, Russell.
How are you, man?
Got that thing shined up up there,
Yes,
don't you?
sir.
I thought it was your daddy sitting up there when I looked at you.
I know. I know.
Oh, God, hey, it's a carbon copy right there.
I appreciate that.
How y'all doing this
Are
morning?
you still keeping Dominion Power straight, Russell?
Yes, sir.
God bless you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna turn things over to you, Russell.
Just a few things. When I talked to the guy that did the reassessment, the initial time, and when the numbers came out, I called him. And we just kind of basically went through some things that, he didn't have corrected. He said he appraised it as a full finished basement, which I have unfinished basement.
Okay.
Completely unfinished basement. I asked him, I said, well, what did you appraise it for as countertops? He said, well, I'm sure you got granite countertops. And I said, no, sir, I got laminate countertops. And he asked about the flooring. I mean, it was a bunch of discrepancies on everything. I got an unfinished attic space. As you come in the foyer, I got peel and stick tile. I mean, there's nothing elaborate. I just didn't feel like that the prior assessment was fair, and just wanted to dispute it, if you will. So I have, I got laminate floors, unfinished basement, unfinished attic. I mean, it's nothing crazy, just
Let's see, Russell. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths,
3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Yes, sir.
1620 square foot.
Yes, sir.
And the basement, you said it's unfinished.
Yes, sir.
Built in 2008.
Yes, sir.
1 floor. Carpet, vinyl, and hardwood for flooring.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, I don't have any hardwood.
No hardwood, all right.
No hardwood. Everything is
We're gonna
carpet
remove
vinyl.
that. Heat pump,
Yes, sir.
1 fireplace,
Yes, sir.
well septic.
Well, wood stove, I don't know if that matters. but
What's that?
It's wood stove, not fireplace, but
Okay.
if that has any.
We'll check and see if that gives any discount. for
Yeah,
that.
no, I don't know. I'm just trying to be accurate.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
3 sheds,
Oh. No, 2.
2 sheds,
Yes, sir.
and then a pole shed.
Well, that's one of them.
So 3 sheds total, no extra pole shed.
No, you're saying 2 total.
I got 2 total.
1
2
pole.
total sheds.
Yes, sir.
They're showing 4 on here.
Well, damn, if you can't count then.
Were they there?
You got me second guessing myself in now.
It looks like they were there on January 26th.
Where does it, you got an aerial picture of it?
No, it shows, the note says, at home, yes, so somebody was at the home.
Well, I got 1 shed there behind the house, and I got 1 over in the woods, and that's it.
We're gonna correct that.
I mean, that's small potatoes, but
Still,
it's that's
Something,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
um,
And I got pictures, just to validate the unfinished of everything, and you can.
and look, see, you see on the note, it says full basement, 100% finished.
Yeah,
No.
that's funny.
But then it says nothing has changed, 100%.
100%.
I got the
right.
superior walls. You can see them, and the TGI is showing, and
And if you ain't changed it since the last time I
no,
was
it's
there,
the same as
certainly
the
not
same thing
finished.
as the last time you've been in there.
Yeah,
Maybe you went to someone else's house.
perhaps.
Well, that's what I questioned the guy. I was like, well, how did you determine it's full finished basement if you didn't?
They can come in.
Yeah, that's
So
just.
I'll tell you, Russell, what they do, what they've done is they've always relied on the previous assessor's notes. They've got a sheet. They go out there and they just go, okay, yeah, that looks right, that looks right. So,
They don't go backwards in it.
no.
Yes,
And
I'm
unless
saying.
a homeowner says, this is factually wrong, then we can correct it. But a lot of times, they assume that everything was correct from the previous
I
assessment.
understand. Well, I get that too.
Yeah.
That's
So that's something, that's something we can correct again on our end, that
What are we looking at?
of the basement, the 1620, it's unfinished totally.
That's like the attic space.
Oh,
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all's jumped up from 264.7 to 325.4.
they're upside down.
See, it's just
Yeah, I mean, the
unfinished.
house is,
And he's got it all.
I
as
built the
finished
house for a
space.
third of that, so,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Where
It's
is it?
just the flooring and stuff he's showing you.
Oh, okay.
Got any questions, Jan?
Fix it.
RJ, y'all got any questions?
No, sir.
No.
I think it's gonna be a factor depreciation
Yep.
calculation on this one, like the rest of them. All right, Russ, well, I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, and-
Hey, is he got, the land is right too, isn't it?
Land,
10.
Your acreage and all, is that correct?
10.7?
I want to say it's 10.82, but it's pretty, if,
Well, it's
by my
close.
survey,
That's close enough.
but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's within a tenth of an acre. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, Russell, is we're gonna, again, go through all these numbers and redo things, and then
Appreciate your time and appreciate
Are
the
you,
opportunity.
2108 Whitechapel Road, that's where he wants to mail the thing to?
Yes, sir.
Have you got that in land use?
I don't think so.
You might want to look into that.
The open land, the 9.7?
Yeah, because it's agricultural.
Yeah, because you'd get a big break on that.
Anything over,
Cow pasture.
anything over 5 acres
Doesn't
is
look like it 'cause
eligible,
it would be on there.
and it's a substantial
That's true.
Okay.
discount.
Okay, because I got everything, all my other, hunting properties in the stewardship program, which I have those, but not in the.
Not your home acreage.
Who would he talk to about that, Beth?
Right.
What's that?
Not the home acres.
No, not the home acre.
Will be in its pasture, you can
Can I do
probably.
that? I mean, who do I do that with?
It's just a form with,
I think, Crystal just said if you go back here and talk to, Marla Savoy or Beth, right down here at the
Down here this way.
treasurer's office, right down this
Right back
hallway.
here.
Just go down there and tell them that you'd like to,
They got a
explore,
form you
I guess
fill
doing
out.
the whole 9 acres in.
yeah,
I mean, that's gonna save you.
Yeah, because it's either cow pasture or feeding.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm heading there now.
Is
Yeah.
no farming, nothing, no. He doesn't farm anything on it?
Land use program.
He has cattle and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
that's what.
But no,
All right, bud. Thanks, Russell.
Y'all have a good day.
You too, buddy.
So he, I'm sure that would.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
Can't hurt him.
No, and like Jan said, it didn't appear that it's in that land use yet either, so.
Remember, it always shows on there the discount or, the breakdown or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point.
good work.
All right, Roberts?
Yeah, my bad.
All right,
Good enough. I've done your homework for you.
thank you, good gracious.
Packet for each of you and for your missing member, reluctant to give it to you because you might read it. Rather than listen to my eloquence.
No, we're gonna listen to it, then we can read this later, right?
All right,
Thank you.
and one for Mr. Reynolds and one for
Thank you,
your
sir.
missing member,
Okay, thank you.
right? We're John and Etta Roberts. We're geezers who live over at RWC, but we own property on Mosquito Creek. Our mailing address is 132 Lancaster Drive, apartment 712, Irvington, 22480. And the phone number there is 804-438-4238. Okay, we own property, approximately a half an acre at Mosquito Point. It's in a floodplain. We've got flood insurance. We've owned it since 1983. If you indulge me just a minute, I want to make sure I understand what I think I heard earlier, and that is that the assessments are on land and on improvements, which would be dwellings and any other structures.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The assessment on the improvements on our property, which means a cottage with a screen porch and a 12-by-10 tool shed, which was erected in 2003, was raised from $65,800 in 2019 to $127,600 this year. That's a 94% increase. Inflation is only 28% for that same period. And I understand about Marquette and city folks coming down here and that sort of thing, but that's a pretty good spread. The parcel next door, 29A54, which would be to the south of us,
I'm gonna pull that up right now while we're talking.
okay?
Okay? Got
That
it.
just sold 2 years ago for $439,000. The lot, like our lot, is approximately a half an acre. The
Right.
dwelling's a little bigger, it's 40 by 31, and it was completely renovated prior to its sale. It's got an engineered septic system that was installed in 2022. It's got a 12 by 16 custom-built tool shed with electricity and an outdoor shower. It has a recently installed 12 by 16 deck, and it has a 173-foot pier, a good portion of which extends into Mosquito Creek. There's no way that the improvements to our property should exceed the improvements to the next door neighbor, but ours is assessed at $8,600 more just for the improvements. There's a lot of pictures in there of what our property improvements look like and what the neighbor's improvements look like. So I really think that we got nailed on that one. The dock alone's got to be worth $15,000 or $20,000. In the 40 years that we've owned our cottage, Lancaster GIS has never shown an acreage. If you go back to our property and look at the acreage, it's 0. We know it's a half an acre. Next door, that property has no acreage, nor does the one just north of us.
Yeah, you can see on the screen behind me,
Yeah, 0.
yeah.
So in any case, be that as it may, when we bought our cottage, we had it surveyed and we had it recorded, but for some reason, the acreage never went in.
On GIS.
Yeah, the GIS, yeah.
Okay.
So, my concern on the property is it's now assessed at $265,000. On a per acre basis, that's $530,000. There are only 3 other properties in the Mosquito Point Property Owners Association community that are assessed at the same or higher value than ours. There are right 30 homes there. In the back of the pages I've given you, there is the next to last sheet shows the whole Mosquito Point property owners area, and behind that is a chart that I've broken down for per acre assessment. And you'll see that the 3 properties that are next to us, that ours and the 2 next to it, are all assessed at $250,000 for a half an acre. But the acreage doesn't show in GIS. And then there's one other property that's assessed higher. He's getting nailed too. I don't know that he's come and looked at it. And for what it's worth, Chairman Dew, your 3+ acres on your waterfront property are assessed at 4 times less than my half acre at Mosquito Creek. Yeah, you are assessed at, your 3.15 at $131,000. My half acre is $530,000.
I'll trade values with you.
There you go,
I'll trade tax bills with you.
there you go. In any case, I would appreciate it, or we would appreciate it, if y'all would take a close look at that,
Absolutely.
and particularly for the equalization part within our neighborhood.
Yeah. You've done a lot of homework.
Yeah, I was in sales and purchasing for 50 years.
So
I do homework.
is this your formal application to be on this board for the next general reassessment? 'Cause we're always looking for good people.
Anytime,
All right, duly noted. That's for the record, right?
duly noted.
Come out of retirement.
No, because this is exactly what we do, is we go through and look at all adjoining parcels and,
Sure.
Now, let's take a look at,
All right.
are the facts on the data on your property correct? So, house was built in 1943?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two additions, okay.
Yeah, all this property was the Lawson Bay farm area.
Right.
Down at the end of Mosquito Point.
Yeah,
It was, when we started coming here in 1950, it was owned by Randolph and K. Smith. Randolph was the county Commonwealth's attorney for Lancaster County. They owned it for a number of years, and then they began to break it up into building lots. There were 4 cottages on the waterfront on Mosquito Point. My future father-in-law called my dad and said, I found a place you might want a vacation. It's called Mosquito Point. Makes sense. In any case, we came in 50. My dad then introduced it to 3 of his siblings, and the 4 Robertses bought those 4 original cottages in the early 1950s.
huh,
Edna's aunt and uncle bought a lot next to my dad and built a cottage. Edna's dad bought a lot across the road and built a cottage, and I married Edna to keep it in the family. It worked.
so you're a peacemaker, you want to keep everybody
I'll tell
happy,
you.
so you said, I'm going to take one for the team.
Yeah, so in any case, that's how we came down here, since there were a total of 6 dwellings when we moved here.
Man.
There were the 4 original cottages. There was a 2-story farmhouse on top of the hill that now belongs to Brooks and Nancy Johnston,
Yep.
who retired dentist.
Dennis, yeah?
Right, and then a house out on the point that belonged to a doctor from Richmond who sold it to a fellow named Todd Wool, who sold it to Eckert Towitz, who used to own Eckert.
Brunei and
Restaurant.
Eckert
Okay.
Towers, yeah.
Yeah, and it now belongs to Peter and Jenny Field. They're fairly new, they have just had a.
Are they next to the Wingfields?
Yeah, there's a yard there at the same point,
Yep.
yeah, and all that's in the
Yeah.
chart that I gave you.
Wow. Interesting.
In any case, so that's how we happened to come here and how things moved.
Wow. Where'd y'all come from?
Fairfax and Alexandria. I came from Shanghai, my wife came from Richmond originally. My dad was a medical missionary in China.
Really?
And I showed up out there. Japanese threw us out in 1940, thank goodness. Alexandria was his hometown, so we moved to Alexandria and stayed until we got married and moved to Fairfax for 40 years. But we've been coming here, me since 1942, at
Good
the Irvington
gracious.
Beach Hotel. And then came back starting in 50, and we've never not come back. It is really paradise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so,
Plus, you got out of the rat race of the big city up there.
that's right. In any case, so, yeah, that's us.
Man.
They used
So
to be
y'all
able-
are on the creek side, so yeah, I know there's, let's see. So, I guess, is
That's
this?
not me.
Is this the Edwards?
Yeah, that'd be Bruce and Norma Jean.
Bruce and
No,
Norma
they,
Jean.
yeah, that's Bruce
Yeah,
and Norma
okay.
Jean, yes.
Yeah.
And that small landlocked lot you saw right next to them, that one, that's a pond that we own. That's simply if a boat's a hole in the water surrounded by woods you pour money into, we've got a hole in the woods full of water that you pour money into.
Wow.
I thought that belonged to this house right here.
No, belongs to me,
Really?
yeah.
I'll be darned.
We bought it from the Prices back, 30 years ago, 20 years
Who
ago.
owned it after the Prices, this house? Or who owned the house
No,
before?
okay, the house was built.
Duncan's, the Duncan brothers.
The Duncan property.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Duncan brothers, yeah. Their dad built it.
That's right.
Okay, then Bobby had it torn down, the A-frame torn down,
They
and
had a
put up a
modular built.
modular home.
That, yes.
And that's now being run as a VRBO.
We have,
Yeah, I'm sure
we've
you've
heard
heard
from
about it.
everybody, and we're good friends with Bruce and Norma Jean, and
Yeah.
we've heard the horror stories about
Yeah.
people trespassing on their property
Yep.
and then
Yep.
claiming all the community beach there is, they're claiming it's that,
You know,
is
it's a
that
tough
property.
situation. Why did the Robertses and the Knights first come here? As renters. That's what people are doing there. But it's a whole different kind of renting.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You know, it was word of mouth in those days.
Well, and I think
Now
that's
it's-
why the county finally enacted a zoning ordinance for
Yeah.
rentals,
Yeah.
because there was nothing on the books to enforce problems before. Mm-hmm. And I think this property is probably one of the main
Yeah, movers.
movers of that movement, so,
The sheriff was there just about 2 Saturday nights ago.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
With complaints, just noise
There
and,
was some.
Trespassing on Edwards'
Bruce's
property.
We think. It wasn't on ours, it wasn't on my brother's, so we figured it was Bruce's.
So we ask that you equalize things downward.
that's right. Yeah, I guess a couple of years ago, people were coming in asking us to raise their values.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 assessments ago.
I'm not.
And after the second or third one, we said,
Yeah,
do you realize this piece of paper has nothing to do with what you can sell your property for?
yeah.
I think 4 or 5 of them said, we're withdrawing our application. We're good. Keep us where
That's
we
like
are.
that one next door that just sold a couple of years ago,
Yep,
much higher than the assessed value.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. But when you've got a gym, you sell it.
That's right.
We're not gonna move.
I don't blame you. No,
We live in Irvington, but we're down at Mosquito Point every day.
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all keeping Bryce Bugg straight down there?
that's right, keep him straightened out. Bill Vos, the whole crowd.
Yeah. We sold Bill's house, Bill and Kate's house, to the family who owns it now, and
Yeah.
then they moved up
The
the hill.
Panos, yeah.
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 And then Steve and Lori, they're tickled to death. They moved here from Williamsburg and
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
So
good.
it's a
Thank you
special
all
place
very
down
much.
there. Thank you all. Do y'all have any questions?
All right.
Has there been like any updates?
Ma'am?
Have there been any updates on your cottage?
Yeah, there's been a roof put on.
A roof? And that's it?
That's a good idea.
That wasn't worth 80-something, I guess.
It hadn't even been painted since '03, '05.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
We painted
it was-
ourselves.
Oh, wow.
inside.
Isabel did a number, Bobby Smith.
Yeah,
Oh,
Repaired
yeah,
it.
Bobby's a great guy, yeah.
wow, okay, okay,
Yeah. All set?
all right.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
guys,
Yeah,
do you want us to send our letter to the 132
Yes, sir.
Lancaster Drive,
Yes.
number 712?
yeah,
Okay.
please.
And we'll render our decisions after the end of today's hearings, and then about 2 to 3 weeks' time, you guys will get the notice in the mail, so.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all, have a good day. All right, so we got 15 minutes till our next one. Y'all want to go ahead and tackle this one in front of us right now?
Sure.
Ken, I did some just quick math while he was talking.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you just take it, it went from 85 to 100 on the factor.
Yep,
So if you go back to 85 and then go from 43 to the original 45% on the physical depreciation, just those two changes alone take it to 369, 700-ish. See it the way he talked, nothing's changed, right? Other than the roof.
right,
So I don't know why it would have jumped from 85 to 100 on the factor.
I don't either.
And then what about, was the other?
I think that add the acres, was it the one?
Oh, is there anything necessary for being in a floodplain?
We did that before, is,
Like, was it functional or was it economic? That's more functional?
yeah, we did that before, I know we did.
Seemed like we did.
And that's
I can't
definitely floods in
remember
right there.
exactly which one, but.
You remember, Jan?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I think it was economical, because you
Can't
have no,
Was it here or was it down Bald Eagle?
it was Bald Eagle,
I mean, not that we can't do it here, but.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think we gave him 15%, didn't we?
well, the only thing, I guess you have to be fair and look at what's on the others
Yeah.
siding.
Well, this side, that's all built up higher.
Okay,
So, but I would say these These two for sure.
RJ, what'd you say you wanted to bump the depreciation up to?
Well, it was originally at 45, so I just went back to that. It went down to 43 for some reason.
We could make it even higher.
I
You
would,
prob- I'm
yeah,
sure
I
you
would
could.
too.
Yeah, I just,
That was 4 years ago.
yeah, I agree.
We'll go maybe 60. Good, factor 85, physical at 60.
How, what was it?
It's
Factor 85.
81 years old house.
Yeah, yeah,
And then give economical, maybe 15% for the flood zone.
all right.
And then I think we also need to do the,
What are you doing, the physical appreciation?
it's 60.
Oh, okay.
It's just a cottage, that's all it is.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then for the 39.54 and 5.2, I think we also give those the same economical.
To 15%?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Leave everything else the same, but give them the economical.
yeah.
You all good with that?
You're going back to 85 on the factor here?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, Crystal. For Roberts, 39A 5.3. Factor from 100 to 85. Physical depreciation from 43 to 60. And we're going to give it economical depreciation of 15%. And then in addition to that, we're going to do the two other adjoining lots. So 39A 5.4 for Joseph and Caitlin Sadler. We're going to give that 15% economical depreciation. And then 39A 5.2, James Roberts, economical depreciation at 15%.
That's kind of strange if he actually had the survey recorded, why it was never picked up for acreage.
Well, none of these lots do. See, that one's 0, 0, none of them do. It's weird.
Strange.
What's that, Glenn?
That's in the real estate database, like, that's not a GIS.
Is
Right,
really?
right.
That's what's in the real estate.
Unless he's considering this to be the recorded plat, which was from,
Way back.
yeah. But I don't know.
A lot of the small lot subdivisions, a lot of, lots of the small lots in county market have no acres, I'm not really sure why. That's very, which is very in the neighborhood.
All right. And we'll work backwards. We'll go to Russell Haney next. So he's working on getting the land use part for that lot, so. We got a couple corrections with the sheds, we'll just go sheds, 2 sheds total. Let's see, his,
Basement is unfinished.
yep. His factor went from 110 to 108. RJ, you know this house?
Yeah,
Would you say it's a 100% factor for a 16-year-old house?
I would say it, yeah. I mean,
All right, so
it's an, I get, what do you consider for that? Like
what's
it's-
that? Factor?
Yeah, like,
Well, to me, anything over 100 means it's improved or worth more than just the average home of that age?
I mean, as far as the house, I would call it average. The fact that it's in the middle of the 10 acres
Yeah,
makes it nice,
yeah,
but that's subjective.
yeah.
So I don't see why you can't go back to 100
They were at 110.
at a minimum, yeah.
I still take it to 100 then. And then physical depreciation, it went from 5 to 13%.
How old is the house?
It looks like it was finished in 2010.
It's the age is 16.
But he certainly does not have a finished basement or an attic space. I can verify
I'll
that.
test to that.
Well, on the card, it's got,
Yeah, the card's right.
see, they took, the basement part, 119,440, they've taken that off, so
Yeah,
the current card is right, it's just $15 a square foot. So 24,000 for that part, that's right.
yep.
What do you think on depreciation? Does 13 sound reasonable, or? To more like 18 or 20?
Now, that's just, I don't, that's hard for me to say. I don't mean to clam up, but I'm not sure how to call that. I mean, they keep it very nice.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean, routine wear and tear.
Right.
So how do you quantify that?
What if we make the factor 95?
let's do that. And bump the physical a little bit?
Yeah, we can do that.
15?
Okay.
Y'all good with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Ms. Davis?
Yeah,
Okay.
what are you doing with the factor? I thought you
90,
said 100.
95.
Oh, no, okay.
And then the physical from 13 to 15.
15.
All right, Crystal, on 1473. A clerical note, we need to remove hardwood from the flooring.
The sheds.
Yeah.
The sheds, instead of 3 sheds plus a pole shed, just make it sheds times 2. And the factor from 108 down to 95. And physical depreciation from 13 to 15.
Did you do the basement unfinished?
They corrected it on this card.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Oh,
the other
okay.
card, they had it on there, but they removed it on this card.
Okay.
All right. And then Mr. Roth, who was our first one, he was at 116 Fitchett in Whitestone.
Let's see. Okay. Water was private. I think that's what they said.
The pier piece, it looks correct on here. It looks like they measured it at 350. He said it was 250, didn't he?
He said it was altogether 1,870 square feet, so I don't know what the difference is, the length or,
Let's see. Let's see. 250
I just can't
times
figure out the
6.
thing with that patio. That's bizarre. Whew. Yeah, this is factor 165, there you go.
And then 10 by 20 is 200 square foot.
Oh, okay.
$350 times 6. Yeah, I think what we need to do is take the pier, the total length from 350 to 250,
Okay,
and that lines up with about what he's got for square footage.
okay.
Change the water from public to well. What else did he have on here? The 175 a square foot from 81. Good gracious.
Wow.
That's $500,000.
There's your sign. Jeez.
Oh, the patio.
Yeah, that's what I cannot figure out.
It looks like on here it says patio is D, and D is the back patio. I don't see where there's a patio.
He's written in here, though, K patio 12 by 24. That's a big darn, but there, you know, it's not.
Where's that?
On
On
the
the
old
old
card,
sheet.
he's got it drawn in.
But, you know, you don't know where it is. I mean, is it at the water? The picture he showed us of the front of the house is H is the covered porch. But I don't know where this patio is, the K that they drew on here.
Oh, it's showing off the right-hand side of the house.
Yeah.
Well, let's go check it out. I think I know where some pictures are, this one. Let's see. $116 Fidget.
I mean, I don't think they're at the property. I just don't think he would arbitrarily throw that on there. But, I don't know.
No, I think Mr. Roth thought it was on the left-hand side facing forward, but it's on the right-hand side according to this drawing.
Yeah.
So it'd be off over here.
Oh,
There's right
There
there.
it is. Yeah,
So Mr. Roth thought it was on this side of the house.
right. And it's over on the right. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the porch. That's the back deck.
It'd be over here.
Yep.
It's a pretty house.
Indeed it is.
All brick.
Well, that's a castle.
It was a big house for two people.
That's all?
Cecil and Wanda, yeah, it was just two of them living there.
Hmm.
Can't see it here, but
Yeah.
that's where the patio. How wide is that thing?
says 12. 12 by 24. It's really hard to see from those
I
pictures.
know. Let me see if I got something else. Shoot, no, I don't have it on here. Let's see if, uh, 116 Fitchett. It looks like a patio right there.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. So that would be between the house and the garage.
There's the garage, there's the house, yeah.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe they would just throw that on
Yeah.
there. I say we leave that be.
Leave that. Well, let's look at, factor.
Went up little.
Now, I wonder why they give 8% economic depreciation.
Because maybe the age of the house.
There was nothing here before with economic.
It's not like he's the biggest house down there.
Only thing I can think is maybe because the,
Does water depth have anything to do with it? And having to build such a big pier?
only thing I can think, there's a house right here, big house to the right of them, and they got a farm with farm animals. That may be, I'm just thinking that may be one reason why they, see this house here?
Yep.
They got a huge farm animal and steer and stuff and
Yeah.
longhorns, and
That's probably got something to do with it.
I would think so, probably. Actually, because that house hadn't been around that long, so that's probably something to do with it, yeah. They paid $830 for the house in 2020. 1.54, probably not too far off from being market value right now for that. I mean,
Oh,
good
yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
I can see before COVID, yeah. But with those views and all brick house, the garage right here, the detached two-car garage, has an apartment above it with a bathroom. Bulkhead shoreline. Well, if we took the factor back to 160, what it
Yeah.
was before,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see why.
That's it.
and just leave, the physical depreciation already went up from 4 to 13%.
Yeah.
Leave everything else the way it is, and just change the pier length and the water part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Crystal, for Roth, 36.5A. The water is not public water. It should be private well. The pier, 6 feet, instead of 350 feet long, it should be 250. The pier should be 6 feet by 250, not 6 feet by 350. And then the factor from 165 to 160.
And this is the guy we need to call now.
Okay, and that's all for that one. I can do it, whatever.
Put this up here,
Mike will reach it in, okay.
be able to hear you still.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Hauser?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is David Dew with the Lancaster County Board of Equalization. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for doing it over the phone for me.
No problem. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir. I hear you very well.
All right, and we've got you on microphone, and I've got your property pulled up behind us on the screen, so I'm going to turn it over to you, and then after you're finished, the board may have some questions for you. And then after today's hearings are over, we deliberate on a case-by-case, render our decision, and then notify you by mail within 2 or 3
Okay.
weeks' time of our decision. And I guess you'd want that mailing going to 211 Walnut Hill Road in Luray?
Yes, sir. That's my permit.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Hauser.
Okay. Just a quick background. We purchased this property in 2019. Is our second home to be retirement home. And in 2019, we paid $525 for it. And of course, I know some things have gone up. Looking at the assessment values, they had the land at $378,000 in 2023, and then they dropped it to $278 in 2024. And for 4 acres, that's certainly reasonable. It sounds like the land was a little bit overvalued to start with, being on a creek there. But the improvements from 2023 to 2024, he's got almost 100% increase in the value of the home. And of course, that shows the total assessed value way on up there. That seems a little out of line for a 1980s era house. Again, you know, this is coming on the tails of dealing with my insurance company, and they're telling me waterfront's a bad thing now for what they're charging me for insurance. Of course, the market dictates it, but that's the gist of what I'm saying. He's just got such a huge increase in the improvements, 100% from 1 year, from 2023 assessed to 2024 assessed. That's really what catches my eye the most. And that's basically, I mean, we haven't done any improvements to the house. We did put a new roof on it and paint the exterior, but other than that, pretty much the way we bought it.
Okay. Let's go through the details of the house and make sure we're accurate. So the house was built in 1988?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. 2-story home,
Yes, it is.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms,
Yes, sir.
2 fireplace,
Yes.
hardwood floors?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Heat pump for heating and cooling?
Yes.
Let's see, no garage, oh, so, two-car garage.
Yes,
Y'all on a community well, then you get a private septic system?
correct.
Okay. Pier, looks like a 150-foot-long pier with a L-head and riprap, 133 feet of riprap roughly.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the water side is.
And then a boat lift, generator, okay.
Correct.
I do see it, it's interesting where the land value dropped 100,000, but the improvements went up 200,
Yeah,
300,000.
Yeah, there again, it's a huge increase on the improvements in from one year's assessed to the next.
Sure,
I know the
sure.
market's been strong, but I thought after 2023, things maybe have leveled off or not quite the COVID influenced increases we had.
Right,
So it's just a strong increase, and this in a few years, hopefully, will be our retirement home. And budget is everything as I
oh, sure,
get
sure.
get ready to do it. So it's a whole bunch at one time. Is the nutshell of what I'm hanging
Right.
my argument on.
Does anybody on the board have any questions? Mr. Hauser?
Nope.
Well, Mr. Hauser, I appreciate your presentation, and we're going to dive into your property and go through all the figures and try to make hay of why the jump is so significant, and see what we can't do on our end to look into that deeper and figure out if there's any ways we can make any adjustments on our end, so.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, and like I said, we'll have our decision mailed to you within 2 to 3 weeks' time at the 211 Walnut Hill Road in Luray.
Very good, very good. I thank you for your time then.
Yes, sir, have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Glenn. All right, so our next one's in 15 minutes by Zoom, but you want to go ahead with this one while we got it in front of us too? It's weird how the land went down, 100,000.
Unless we did an across.
Oh, that was us,
thing.
Board of Equalization, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now we got to look at the,
You know what's crazy is that on the field sheet, they've got 3 bathrooms, but on the card, it's 2, and you ask them,
sure does.
so
Maybe they corrected it
maybe.
for this one. Physical depreciation went down, which I thought was
I know,
Yeah, and the
from
factor
35 to 30.
increased.
yeah.
In fact, it didn't change much. I just, on a 36-year-old home, I don't know that a factor of 125 is appropriate. Thirty-six-year-old, let's see if we can find this house. Take a look at it. What was the address? 2235. I know this house. You
I
know
was
it,
very-
Jan?
Yeah, I remember, I mean, I've never been in it, but I thought I remember the listing.
Yeah. When did he buy it?
In 19.
So it won't be on Navica, it'll probably be on Matrix.
Something sweet.
I'm okay right now, thank you.
Two, 3, 5. There you go. Who did he buy it from?
That one turned a couple
Sam
times,
Marshall,
didn't
it
it?
did, yeah. I remember meeting with these folks. It was a very unusual layout.
They liked wood.
Yeah.
I don't know, hit depreciation, I guess. It's just crazy why we brought it down.
But again, for today's value on that house, it's probably
Right, yeah.
close to market value. I mean,
Easy.
so you want to go
And where is this?
factor back to 120 and physical to
Yeah.
40 maybe?
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
What are you showing me here? That's just,
This is the house we're looking at right now,
okay.
Roush.
Oh, okay. Oh. The floors are beautiful.
It's right up on the water. All wood siding.
Ramsey's on in town y'all already.
Okay. So what Jan and I are proposing is take the factor on this one back to 120, and this increase of physical depreciation from 30 to 40%.
All right.
You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, Crystal, 39A, 17A. Factor from 125 to 120. And physical depreciation from 30 to 40. $35.75B. All right. All right, Glenn, we're ready. Go ahead. Mr. and Ms. Ramsey?
This is George Ramsey. Good morning.
Hi, George, how are you?
I'm great. I hope you guys are well.
Doing fine, thank you. I'm going to, I've got your property pulled up behind us on the tax card and the pictures from Vominet, and we've got your tax card in front of us. So I'm going to turn things over to you, and then once you're finished, the board may have some questions to ask of you. And after that, after we're done today's deliberations, we will notify you by mail to the 3314 Alamance Drive, Raleigh address. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, well, I will turn things over to you now, sir.
Just say hello to all you folks and just ask if you could just tell me your name so I'll know who I'm talking to.
Our names?
Yes.
Sure, I'm David Dew.
David, okay.
We've got Jan Abbott,
All right, Jan.
Miss Ella Davis, and Mr. R.J.
And that
Reynolds.
first name was?
Ella Davis
Okay.
and R.J. Reynolds.
Thanks, folks. Good to have you on board today, and thank you for letting me come in and appeal. I've owned this house since, Ann and I have owned this house since 2005, and the adjustments have been made every year, and I didn't even have any idea you could appeal them, but I'm grateful for the opportunity today because it's a great little house, but it's an old house, and it's sort of a feeble house, and it hasn't had any improvements made to it since 2005. In fact, there's one on the tax card that sort of confuses me. It says it was converted to an enclosed porch, converted enclosed porch into porch for 2002. And I don't know what that means. Can y'all clarify that one for me?
That is, I looked at that.
Where is that?
It's at the bottom left under site,
Right up here.
right of way off Route 646, converted enclosed porch into porch for 2002.
That same note's on the old card as well, for whatever reason.
1712.
And you know, just, wouldn't you agree it's sort of confusing to say converted a porch into a porch?
Yes. So what was done in 2002 in regards to any
Well,
porch?
that's where I can't help you because we bought it in '05,
Gotcha.
and it's the very same since it's been in '05. There's a main house. You guys can probably see things that I can't see on my screen, but there's a main house where we spend 99% of our time, and then there's a 2-car garage at the other end of a breezeway, and there's a little single-room master studio, I guess you might call it, that I think the owners two prior to us were 2 women, and I think one of the women lived in the main house, and the other lived in the garage apartment, which is just a room, but there is a bathroom out there.
All right, so that
And I'm
breezeway,
wondering if that.
is that breezeway enclosed with the port screen or anything?
No, it's got a plastic, corrugated plastic roof.
And that's it?
That's it.
Okay. Well, we will definitely check into that.
Okay. And again, the important thing to know is that since '05, we've done nothing but just sort of maintain stuff that's broken down. We've had to replace a dishwasher. We've had to replace a dock since the valuation date. The dock that we did have collapsed, and the barge is out there right now working on completing a restoration, which we did in 2024. But the dock was in such sorry shape, it just fell in. Thankfully, no one was on it when it did.
Right.
And the other thing that under that, I'm looking at that same note with the converted enclosed porch into porch for 2002, shares well on property. I don't know what that means either, but there is a shared well. I share a well with Henry Dixon and Chris Capel. I think Chris has met with you folks recently. He's my next door neighbor. Ironically enough, he's also from Raleigh. And then there's another home on Akron Road there. So there are 4 homes that share a well,
Yep.
which I think is pretty unusual.
It's not uncommon down here. And I think that note just carried over from the old tax card, just noting that it was a shared
Right.
well, not a private well.
Right, right.
So
The-
your land
the-
value didn't change very much. It was just the improvement value that jumped up from 222.1 to 347.6.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it went up a ton. I just was aware that Chris was able to come in and appeal, and he and I are in the sort of the same boat down there. Of all the homes that face the water in the neighborhood of Akron, I'm not aware of any water-facing home that hasn't either been built in the last 20 years since we purchased it, or renovated in the last 20 years since we purchased it. Like my neighbor on one side, Henry Dixon, has totally torn down and replaced the house. Chris Capel's on the other side, and he and I share the dubious honor of not having any improvements for the last 25 years. And virtually every other home on Akron Road in the vicinity of our home has been majorly renovated and or replaced, because you guys, I'm sure you know that the tornado came through and hit us in 2020.
That was
And
a
that's
bad,
caused
it was a bad evening.
so many. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I said, that was a bad morning. I got hit too. I'm right across Diamond Creek from y'all.
Yeah, people say, how'd you learn about it? I said, we were there.
Yeah, we were there too. We lost 65 trees, lost our pier, lost a boat.
Well, our pier somehow survived that. It only lasted a couple years longer though. But the land value, I think, is probably the most compelling story, because we lost, we think, as many as 2,000 trees. I don't know what the real number is, but
Right.
it was a very unpleasant feeling when the TV helicopters were hovering over our yard
Yeah.
the morning after the tornado. You never want to be that guy with the TV helicopter over your head. But
No, that's right. That's right.
it cost us a ton of money to clear that lot up, and it's only now sort of trying to recover and look like a forest again. But it'll take 10 or 15 more years to look like it did. So
Sure.
I think our land value has been compromised pretty significantly. Don't know that because we haven't marketed it, of course, but
Right.
I think the forest that we had, which offered beauty and privacy, is not very beautiful, and it's not very private anymore.
Right.
And then the last thing that's happened that has been a bit unfortunate is we've been non-renewed on our homeowners insurance.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Being a waterfront property.
Denied homeowner insurance.
Our property insurance through Travelers has been canceled. It will be canceled on October 27th.
Yeah,
So we won't be able to
I think
insure our.
Travelers is doing a moratorium on all waterfront properties, I think because of the losses down in Florida. I've had several clients gotten notices from Travelers in the past couple of weeks about dropping their insurance, and the owners have had zero claims, perfect credit history, but they're just trying to reduce or minimize their claim losses in coastal areas. There are a number of other good local insurance companies that are still insuring properties here at much better rates and policy terms than some of those larger corporations, but I've heard that from other clients as well.
Yeah, and I have a place to American Standard, who apparently is the best access I have to Northern Neck Insurance. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they're another good local company, sure, yeah.
So I've got about a month to figure that out. But apparently a lot of people are self-insuring anymore, you know,
Right,
which is sort of uncomfortable feeling for me.
yes.
Because we did have a major claim. I'm honestly not surprised that they canceled us, that they didn't. I wouldn't have been surprised had they canceled us even sooner because it was a big claim.
Right,
The roof did get replaced, the screen porch was destroyed. It was just a mess, the septic system was destroyed. It was a huge claim.
yeah, that was a mess, I'll tell you what.
So
Anybody?
that's a story, you know, we overpaid for it in '05 by a whole lot. Your valuation is still less than what we paid for it, which is shame on me for being that dumb. I didn't know at the time that you can't trust a realtor to represent both sides of a transaction, and you need to only, you know, the realtor double dips when that happens, and the higher the price, the more the fee. So shame on me for not understanding that when I did it, but it's been a great place to enjoy, but it's not been a great investment.
Does anybody on the board have any questions for Mr. Ramsey?
No.
Well, Mr. Ramsey, we will dive into your property and check everything, numbers and increases and this and that, and render our decision this afternoon and notify you by mail within 2 to 3 weeks' time.
Thank you so much, folks.
All right.
Appreciate your time and the opportunity to have the conversation.
Yes, sir. Have a good evening.
You too. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. I think that was just a typo, because I think,
On the converted and closed porch?
yeah, because if you add the 1609 and the 112, that comes up with the 1721. So I think it may have been a porch there at one time, and they just included it into the square footage, not into porch.
So we just needed to remove that language.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only thing I can think
Yeah.
of. But there was no, no building permit, it doesn't look like, so, I don't know. Unless this one down at the bottom for 2,000 was, I don't know. That'd be a Beth question, I guess.
All right,
Except for the roof and the septic
and that's it.
and the screen porch from the storm, did he say that there was anything else done?
No.
Okey doke.
The factor increased for whatever reason. And it sounds like we could certainly give him more physical depreciation than
Oh, yeah.
23%.
Yeah. Have y'all been down, you've been down, haven't you? It looks like a landmine went off. It's just,
Yeah.
they still have trees in the fields lined up. They just haven't gotten them out yet. Well, if we took the factor to 100 and then physical up from 23 to, house is 51 years old, maybe 45?
I was gonna say 40, so yeah, 45.
Okay,
You okay with those two?
that's, yeah,
And then what did you say? You have to strike language from that
Just
porch
strike that converted and
comment?
closed porch into porch road too. I mean, it's confusing. I don't
It
think, I
is.
don't see anywhere where it's,
uh-uh.
there's any value added to it or anything, so I just take that off.
So he has the garage that's attached to the house, and then he has a separate garage.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, right,
So you delete.
right here, there's a little one-car garage.
Yep.
And then this is a little
Oh.
detached.
Okay, that's what, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
All right, so we all good on those couple of changes?
Yes, sir.
All right, Crystal, for 3575B, we're just going to strike the language converted enclosed porch into porch for 2002. Converted enclosed porch into porch for 2002. Just going to strike that language altogether. Factor from 111 to 100. And physical depreciation from 23 to 45. Yeah, that side got hit a lot harder than we did, but I mean, that was a nasty tornado. All right, so we got 2 emailed requests. Let's do the Wilsons first on 1460 Riverwood Drive. Okay. 23E-1-36. Y'all know where Riverwood is? Right, you go Devil's Bottom Road, right where the primary school is, and turn left right there. That's Riverwood Drive. And you go all the way back in there, and it's a little subdivision.
Oh, okay. Because the guy up front, he has been long past John Nichols.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're writing hopes, consider stop tax increase for home records, okay.
To stop the taxi.
All right, so they've done no improvements, nothing to increase the improvements on the house. Let's see, we got land value stayed the same. Improvements went from 229.6 to 378.9. Price per square foot went from $81 to $152. Factor went down.
That seems kind of steep for Riverwood.
You daggone right. Off water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't look like they picked up the generator. Or, hold on a minute, I'm getting confused. Never mind.
Well, they wrote in generator small in here.
Yeah.
But they didn't put it down in the improvements. They did correct the bathrooms though. On the old tax card 2, they went for 3, so.
I don't know that I've ever been back there before. Is that I mean, can you justify being 125 or 22 factor back there in Riverwood?
No.
Yeah.
I'd say at anything 100,
Maybe.
yeah. I mean, I was thinking 100 for factor and physical depreciation, maybe 15%. Since it is almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
And leave everything else the same, because the land value seems to be, you know, 35,000 for a lot there for a 1.5 acre lot, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because you do have you've got a tennis court, you've got a boat ramp.
Yep.
So you do have a
For that.
few little amenities for
Okay.
that subdivision.
Cool.
It's all paved roads, but I can't see 415 for an off-water,
Yeah.
so. Factor from 122 to 100 and physical from 8 to 15.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
sounds good to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Crystal, 23E 136 for Larry and Melissa Wilson, factor from 122 to 100. And physical depreciation from 8 to 15. And Vernon Grammar.
This gentleman lives in South Carolina, and he's included a letter from John Hollowell concerning the soil, and looks like the lot may be unbuildable.
Okay. This lies off Davis Mill Road. All right, let's see what we got. I need glasses.
I know, it's really fuzzy.
It's like,
It's fake, it's,
need like a,
they need some ink, right?
look how small it is.
Oh. And your eyes are much younger than mine.
You want those big old magnifying glasses like the Spectres had.
Okay, so we finished with
We're on the last one now.
Larry and Millicent.
Yeah. So John Hodges,
Oh, very good today. Okay. This is for,
So this does look like he could get engineered on here.
yeah, there appears to be enough suitable soil on site to accommodate an alternative sewage disposal system size up to a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
There is an area of soil across the street from tennis court that may accommodate a conventional sewage system for a 2-bedroom dwelling.
It's almost 2 acres, so,
So it is a buildable lot.
where is this
oh my
located?
gosh, it's,
Twin Branch Mill
This says
Road.
Davis Mill Road.
There.
take Courthouse Road.
It's a cut through, but from
Yeah.
like Regina to
Yep,
Here's Regina
Courthouse
right here.
Road.
yep.
Yeah,
It's, yeah.
here's Regina Road, come on.
So he's
Davis
before
Mill,
you get to the pond.
Right there.
Oh,
It hasn't increased. I'm confused.
Or after you get to the
It went down, it went down.
they got a Twin Branch something in Brown Store, and my friend lives there.
Yeah, this is the same as last value, 16.1.
Yellow Beach,
It went down from 2014
Uh-huh.
to 16.1. It's the same thing as it was before.
yeah. Open Door Presbyterian Church. What does that say?
If this letter from John Hollowell just said it does not perk for anything,
Right.
then we got justification to,
I mean, the fact that it's gonna be more difficult versus a flat lot.
still, this letter says it is, you can put a 4-bedroom house on it. Or a 2-bedroom with the conventional.
Right.
Just do one.
I don't see that we can do anything with this.
I don't either.
Flat.
And the letter from John validates why we can't.
Right. It's not that it isn't buildable, it just,
It may cost a bit more for the septic system.
yeah.
Yep. No change?
Yeah.
Ms. Davis, you okay with that?
I'm okay, yeah.
All right, Crystal, for Vernon Grammar, 90-60T, no change.
Come up with a tentative date, just in case we'll see that bill go out, we're gonna get some more phone calls now, or just call you all and when that date.
When do the bills go out?
I think they're going out in about October. So, they're getting the stuff straightened out. I think Marlon said she has to have all her things into the building company by the middle of this month. Then Bonnie has to do something, and then everything goes to
What
printer.
is this, September?
So, I was thinking maybe set up just a tentative date, so they know better, you know, before, because I know how the holidays start, vacations, things like that. I don't know if y'all want to do that or not. No pressure, I mean, you don't have to do it. Or you can email me as the call goes on, you know, maybe, really.
What do you have in mind for November?
I don't know, I mean, we want to stay away from Thanksgiving week. I would say maybe the second or third week in November. But, you know, give people time to get their bill, just in case.
You want to do it on a Thursday again, to set a tentative date on a Thursday?
It'd be the 7th or the 14th.
I say we stay away from that first week. That's election week.
Oh, true.
Let me run into this.
We might have some taxpayers unhappy with the elections that might want to take it out on us.
Okay.
I'd rather stay away from that week, go to next week.
It might take a week to figure out how the election went.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
Anymore.
Very true.
Oh, boy.
Who took a picture down?
So Glenn, can we go ahead and adjourn this meeting, or? Crystal, should we go ahead and adjourn this meeting while we're setting up this thing? Adjourn this meeting from,
We can, yeah. Because this is just basically talking about dates and so.
yeah, we'll adjourn.